Why are Hollywood's biggest stars, people with millions more to spend on nutritionists and personal trainers than you and me, ditching traditional calorie-counting diets and meal planning for just outright skipping meals for hours and even days at a time? How can this be healthy for you? And how could what they're doing change your life? Let's face it, traditional diets can be a real struggle, even for the rich and famous who have far greater resources to make things work. Counting calories, restricting food groups, and constantly battling hunger pangs can make you feel defeated. Traditional dieting advice sticks closely to calories in, calories out, and the law of thermodynamics. Basically, just eat less, move more, and you'll lose weight. Then, there's all the different diets: high carb, low fat, low carb, high protein, Mediterranean, Atkins, carnivore, vegan, and so on. Many of us have tried these methods, only to find ourselves back at square one, frustrated and disheartened. Why? Because it's not that simple. Actually sticking to a rigid plan or counting calories is incredibly difficult and time-consuming. Plus, the vast majority of calorie counting and dieting apps get calories wrong, making weight management even harder. But what results can you expect even if you do it correctly? In the short term, you can definitely lose weight or gain weight using simple calories in, calories out, but what you eat, when you eat, how much you eat, and how often, all of it works like a recipe, giving instructions to your body's hormones and metabolism for how to adapt. This means short-term success comes with an unfortunate long-term cost for your body. Reducing calories leads to hormonal changes that slow your metabolic rate and increase your appetite for calorie-dense foods. This leads to weight changes being unsustainable, yo-yo dieting, and often gaining back more weight than was lost in the end. So what can you do instead? What science led the rich and famous to abandon decades of eating advice to eat regularly throughout the day? And why should you care about what these celebrities are doing? Celebrity influence on lifestyle choices is undeniable. They often set trends that ripple through society, influencing everything from fashion to fitness. When they endorse a particular lifestyle choice, people take notice. This is why we're seeing more and more news about celebrity fasting lately, but what most articles won't explain to you is the evidence why it's taking off. Intermittent fasting isn't just another fleeting trend. Its spread is based on solid scientific backing and an exploding research field, which celebrities and their fitness coaches have to pay attention to if they want a competitive edge. Numerous studies have shown that intermittent fasting can lead to improved metabolism and blood sugar regulation, better management of your weight, increased energy levels, and even euphoria as you go deeper into the fast. It's more than just skipping meals. It's becoming more and more obvious that it's a healthier lifestyle choice. Some people find it hard at first, but fasting gets much easier when you understand just how much value you get out of simply skipping a meal or snack. One of the most compelling reasons for the rise of intermittent fasting is its health and wellness benefits. Beyond weight loss, intermittent fasting has been linked to increased human growth hormone, improved insulin sensitivity, reduced inflammation, and even enhanced brain function. Yes, intermittent fasting has been linked to increased levels of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, which supports your brain health and cognitive function. This could explain why many people report feeling more focused and energetic when they follow an intermittent fasting routine, something I've felt myself even on prolonged fasts. For celebrities who need to maintain peak physical condition for demanding roles or public appearances, or for people like you and me, these benefits are incredibly appealing. Take Hugh Jackman, for example. To prepare for his role as Wolverine, he adopted an intermittent fasting regimen, combined with bulking and exercise, that helped him achieve a lean yet muscular physique without feeling deprived or exhausted. Showing fasting isn't just about losing weight, but can be used to lean bulk too. Others use fasting to support general health, productivity, and of course, sustainable weight loss. More on the specifics of how different celebrities fast and how to personalize fasting to your life later in the video. These people have access to advice from experts at the edge of health research. Dr. Jason Fung, a nephrologist and author of The Obesity Code, advocates for intermittent fasting as a powerful tool for weight loss and overall health improvement. He emphasizes it's not just about cutting calories, but about giving your body time to reset and repair itself. Dr. Walter Longo, a leading researcher in longevity and nutrition, supports the benefits of intermittent fasting and fasting mimicking diets for overall health improvement, cellular repair processes that rejuvenate you and prevent disease, all promoting longevity. Intermittent fasting can simplify meal planning and reduce the stress associated with constant dieting. I've personally found it easier to stick with because it doesn't require meticulous tracking or restrictive food lists. Of course, there are some common misconceptions and myths about intermittent fasting. One concern is hunger pangs during the fasting period. While it's true that adjusting to a new eating schedule can be challenging initially, Many people find that their hunger diminishes over time as their bodies adapt. This means that the longer you go without food, paradoxically, the less hungry you tend to get, which is often one of the most surprising things about fasting. Many people find on multiple day and multiple week fasts that their hunger vanishes. Another myth is that skipping meals will lead to muscle loss or nutritional deficiencies. Most people think you'll waste away, which you can disprove by just looking at these people. Studies have shown that as long as you're exercising and consuming adequate nutrients during your eating windows, muscle mass can be maintained or improved with proper exercise. Back to Hollywood, why should you care about what these celebrities are doing? Because their experiences highlight the real-world applicability of intermittent fasting. You might get what the benefits are, but you can't apply them without finding an approach that works for you. Fortunately, you can achieve your health goals without resorting to extreme measures or feeling miserable in the process. Let's look at specific examples to see how they do it. So, what exactly is intermittent fasting? At its core, intermittent fasting is just an eating pattern that cycles between periods of fasting and eating, but we're also seeing more interesting research on even longer fasts recently. Fasting doesn't prescribe specific foods to eat, but rather focuses on when you should eat them. That gives you a lot of power. This approach can be surprisingly flexible and adaptable to different lifestyles, from busy professionals to busy parents, athletes, entrepreneurs, and you watching this video. There are several popular methods of intermittent fasting, and I'm going to explore how different celebrities have applied them to their lives. The 16-8 method involves fasting for 16 hours each day and eating within an 8-hour window. For example, you might eat from noon to 8 p.m. and fast from 8 p.m. until noon the next day. Some people adjust the length of the window up or down to fit their schedules. The 5-2 diet involves eating normally for 5 days of the week and restricting your calorie intake, usually to around 500 to 600 calories, on the other 2 days. Then there's one meal a day. For instance, if you finish dinner at 7 p.m. on Monday, you wouldn't eat again until 7 p.m. on Tuesday. Alternate day fasting. This method, obviously, alternates between days of normal eating and days of fasting. Beyond intermittent fasting, though, you can even go many days without food, and we call this prolonged fasting. This is a game changer for the health benefits and risks. More on that and Chris Hemsworth's experience with extended fasting later. Because fasting as an approach is more about scheduling than anything else, it means you can tailor fasting to your lifestyle, and even mix and match fasting windows and diets, depending on what your goals are, from weight loss to muscle gain, lean gains, managing your energy levels, and productivity. The most popular approach is a daily 16-8 pattern. Jennifer Aniston uses this approach to maintain her physique and health as she ages, skipping breakfast and emphasizing a high-protein, low-carb, and low-sugar diet, as well as cardio exercise. This doesn't just highlight how you can use it for weight management, it shows how you might use it for its anti-aging effects too. More on that later. Meanwhile, Scarlett Johansson used intermittent fasting flexibly while preparing for her role as Black Widow. She flexed between a 12-hour fasting window, the equivalent of not snacking after dinner, up to 15 hours a day depending on her busy filming schedule. She combined this with strength exercises, building lean muscle while staying lean, all on a vegan diet, showing you can do it while busy and while plant-based. Likewise, Hugh Jackman took intermittent fasting to another level while preparing for his role as Wolverine. Combining the 16-8 method with intense workouts, he consumed nutrient-dense meals packed with protein, as much as 50% protein, to build muscle mass, achieving a lean, muscular look, proving that intermittent fasting can be highly effective if you need to bulk up while staying lean. Meanwhile, TV personality and entrepreneur Kourtney Kardashian combines different fasting patterns to try and stay healthy while being busy. One day a week, she does a 24-hour fast, basically only eating dinner in the evening. The other days in the week, she has a 14 to 16-hour eating window. Her diet? She generally does low-carb food, with the exception of fruits. But what about if your goal is just straight-up sustainable weight loss? I don't need to tell you that not eating makes you lose weight, but the power of intermittent fasting is how sustainable it is long-term. Jimmy Kimmel found quick short-term success through traditional calorie reduction, having 2,000 calories a day, but then discovered the 5-2 diet, moving to eating normally 5 days a week, but restricting calorie intake to around 500 to 600 calories on Mondays and Tuesdays. This approach helped him improve his relationship with food and maintain his weight loss over time, demonstrating the sustainability of intermittent fasting as a long-term lifestyle change, and how consistent short fasts can make up for the long-term failings of traditional dieting. How do you manage the downsides of fasting though? And what about longer-term fasts than 24 hours? I talked about UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak doing 36-hour fasts in another video, but that's just fasting for 1 day each week. What about multiple days of fasting? The benefits and risks. Chris Hemsworth has become a big fan of intermittent fasting recently. However, he also experimented with a 4-day fast while filming the documentary series Limitless with longevity doctor Peter Attia. While many people do well with a longer fast, it took a few days for him to adapt and start to feel focused. Until then, he felt weak and extremely hungry. Weird to imagine for the man that played Thor. I'm assuming he struggled so much, as he was so used to eating constantly throughout the day, even as many as 10 meals a day while preparing and training to become a Thor. This highlights how hunger is driven by your habits, more than true nutritional need. But despite this, what kept him going when it was hard? Motivation. Motivation at the time to pursue longevity-focused challenges, but more generally, live a longer, healthier life and ultimately have more time with his family, which was the whole point of the documentary series. A big part of having a good fasting experience is finding a good why and focusing on that motivation. What's your why that will help you when it gets hard? Having a good why is also how one morbidly obese Scottish man went without food for over a year in an incredible study that wouldn't be allowed to happen today, which tells us a lot about the human body and what you're capable of. To find out more and how to avoid fasting's risks so you can focus on the health benefits, you need to watch this next.